In each episode, we're gonna recap. It's Sailing All Blue with Xander and Matt. Sailing All Blue with Xander and Matt.
Welcome to Sailing Out Blue, the podcast where we are setting sail into the world of One Piece. My name is Xander, and here with me is Master Chef Matt.
Hello.
Matt.
Ahoy, Xander.
Ahoy. I'm fucking dying. So Matt, you told me before we started, there's a new segment you're adding to our podcast.
Yes.
Well, what is this? I'm very excited.
Yes. Longtime listeners will know that the general format for this show is a description of what we'll talk about. We'll recap the reading badly. We'll highlight certain scenes and then give a review, reactions, thoughts. But now we're adding a fifth segment to the beginning, which is the spoiler roundup, which is all the things I've been spoiled on between last time we recorded and now.
Wait, did I spoil things? Did someone spoil things?
Someone spoiled things.
What the fuck? It was it Sam?
I will name no one, but yes.
Do I need to kick Sam's ass?
I'm not naming anyone, but yes.
But yes.
So
I'm gonna message Sam right fucking now.
No, so you'll hear it's a very reasonable spoiler, essentially. So for those of you who didn't pay attention to what the assignment is for this week, we're currently in the Baratie arc, and apparently Xander has split my assignment into 3 sections. And being a good boy, not a garbage person, I have not read ahead from where the reading stops. So Xander gave us a very awful cliffhanger. How dare you end that there?
It was very good.
And in my watching of One Piece, when I've tried to watch the anime, the furthest I've gotten is actually right before that fight starts. We actually went like a chapter or 2 past the farthest I've ever seen in the anime now.
Oh, we're in new territory.
This is completely new. Everything else I had kind of an idea of what was coming because I had at least seen it. Like, I knew Kuro was evil. I knew that they were going to fight them, all that. You know, I knew how all the buggy stuff was going to go down. Like, Lionel Richie was not a surprise to me. This, I have no idea how this arc even ends because I never finished it watching the anime. So I was telling one of our friends about what we're doing and where we ended, and he's like, "Oh, so which fight are you on in that arc? Like which fight is there not one?" He's like, "Well, is Luffy fighting yet?" What?
How dare he?
So I'm guessing I have to amend my predictions to include Luffy fighting because I'll be honest, after the cliffhanger here, I was a little confused how Baratie was going to go on for us to require 2 more episodes of this because it seemed like we were wrapped up.
Oh, we're just at the start of Baratie. Baratie happens in 3 acts. We just finished Act 1.
Yeah, I didn't see how this kept going. So now it's like, okay, well, Luffy's going to fight someone. So now we know.
Okay, so that's the only spoiler you got is that there's more fights.
I also saw some meme about Brook and his shadow. I don't know anything about Brook or his shadow, so
don't worry about it.
I'll file that into the random stuff that I've like seen about One Piece.
Brook and Ship, that's nothing. Don't worry about it. That's just a meme.
Okay, cool. But yeah, the is Luffy fighting yet is a terrible way to phrase any kind of question.
I mean, you have to expect that Luffy's going to fight in every arc. Every arc, Luffy's going to do a fight. It's it's One Piece. It's about Luffy doing a punch.
It's like asking someone where they are in Game of Thrones and asking, is Joffrey dead yet?
Is Joffrey dead yet? What?
So, yeah.
Joffrey lives throughout the whole Game of Thrones,
no,
yeah?
He dies like 3 seasons in.
Oh, spoilers. What the fuck, dude?
No one cares about Game of Thrones anymore.
Yeah. I don't even think I finished it. I think I stopped in the last season, like just somewhere randomly. I know I haven't seen the last episode, nor do I care to.
It's okay. insert joke here about the show writers stopped writing halfway through the last season.
I think they did it way earlier. Anyways,
Yeah.
let's
Anyways.
jump into this arc. So we started off on chapter 40, right?
We start off on chapter 42. This is chapters 42 to 51. And I have a note here from last episode that there was apparently going to be some big cliffhanger that I'm going to hate you for stopping at. I hate you. Why did you stop there?
Because it's perfect. Now you understand why, one, the show is so good, or the series is so good, but two, you get to suffer along with everybody else who had to wait a period of time between chapters, right? You get to binge a little bit at a time, but I'm going to have you like kind of suffer every once in a while to be like, God damn it. Because I know you're not going to just read ahead before recording.
No, especially since this recording got delayed, so I had to wait longer than people in real life did.
That's true.
How very rude of you.
How dare I?
So it starts off though, chapter 42, with them creating the straw hat flag, and we have just like some nice fun times around the ship. We've got Usopp doing cannon practice, and he's now the designated sharpshooter. We've got Nami cooking, so now all we need is a musician. So that's going to be what we go after next, right? Right. So there's some random pirate hunter attacks. Turns out that it's Zolo's old friend Johnny. He asks where's our buddy Yosaku? He's like, oh, scurvy. And this is where we get the lesson that nutrition is important.
You need proper nutrition. You need a diet.
So for 3 different times this chapter, Usopp has some idea, and then Nami agrees with it, and that includes that really they need a cook more than a musician. I guess because Nami doesn't want to keep saving everyone from scurvy. And Johnny and Yosaku go, you can probably get one from this ocean-going restaurant, but be warned, it's close enough to the Grand Line that there's rough guys there. And hey, Zolo, that Hawkeye guy you're hunting frequents it. It's like, ooh, there's some foreshadowing. And Zolo gets this like 1,000-yard stare to end the chapter. So we're at the Baratie ocean-going restaurant. Some marine dude shows up, Lieutenant Iron Fist Full Body, who I'm now going to call just Iron Body because I do not respect that name.
But he has such he doesn't even have an iron fist. He just has like iron knuckles, like screws that are in his knuckles, right?
Yeah, he's just got like basically like iron knuckles, like not even brass knuckles, just iron knuckles. So it's not even full body. It's a complete misnomer.
I think he does have a full body. He just doesn't have an iron fist.
Yeah, iron knuckle normal body is this guy.
yeah, he's pretty normal body.
All right, iron knuckle normal body. He sees that they're pirates, and both Luffy and Usopp claim to be the captain of the ship. And Yosaku and Johnny, for some reason, fight the guy, who then off-screen beats them up. They don't seem like very competent fighters, but he's gonna let this all slide because he's here with his girlfriend. But he still fires a cannonball at Luffy, who rubbers it onto Baratie, and for a while, no one cares. Like, we cut to the inside of the restaurant where Iron Fist is, he's trying to be fancy about some wine. And
he's whining and dining.
And Sanji shows up. He's like, you're an idiot. Now drink your soup while it's hot. Also, your waiter that you set all this up with isn't here because all the waiters quit. It's just chefs now. Very interesting is the way Sanji's speaking patterns in the first chapter he shows up make me think like a British accent. And then afterwards it becomes more like, I feel like a Brooklyn accent or something.
Yeah, it's more like that.
But just the very first chapter, like he sounds like a Brit, like an Alfred type, just dripping with like that distinct British waiter sass. And then he switches.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's doing it in front of a pretty lady. He's showing off. He's upselling himself, being fancy, because he knows his wine.
Yeah, so the head chef tells Luffy he's got to work to pay off the damage. So this is people now actually caring about the damage again. And then we cut immediately back to Sanji hitting on the girlfriend. The lieutenant tries to pull off this whole fly in the soup trick. And Sanji's just like, oh, I think it's doing the backstroke is what it's doing in your soup.
Oh yeah. And everyone in the whole like place just cracks up laughing.
He then beats up the lieutenant off screen and says the food must never be wasted. How dare you have put a fly in the soup?
Yeah, it's because the lieutenant like smashes the table, right?
Yeah, he smashes the table, gets it everywhere, and he wasn't gonna eat the soup because there's a fly in it. So, but how dare you waste food? We then start the next chapter with Patty Cook psyching himself up, and then with this whole like customer is king speech, and then he walks in and sees Sanji manhandling the lieutenant, and he's not happy with Sanji, and the lieutenant's like, I'm gonna close you down. And Sanji's like, not if I close you down first. And everyone's like holding Sanji back. And Patty's like, why are you being mean to customers? Customers are great. And they pull Sanji back into the back where Luffy and the head chef's argument is causing even more damage to the ceiling. Where head chef is like, you're going to have to work like a year to pay this off. And Luffy's like, I'm not doing that. Maybe a week.
like a day. 1 week at most.
And Luffy's like, wow, sees everyone fighting the lieutenant and Sanji being all crazy. Is like, wow, this place might be too crazy even for me. And then there's this commotion because some pirate has escaped the brig of the marine ship's brig. One of Krieg's pirates, the toughest of the eastern seas. And this guy is so suave. He just the captive. He gets a name later on. I didn't put it back further up. What's the guy's name?
His name is Jin.
Jin, yeah. But yeah, he walks in, shoots the marine who's making the announcement that the guy's escaped, and goes, party of one.
What a boss.
It was a pretty baller move, but then Patty kicks him out because he's like, if you can't pay, you're not a customer. Which it was like, it's actually going back to our conversation about Yakuza 0. It's a lot like that whole Goro scene at the beginning of Yakuza 0. Where he's like, customer is king. I'm not going to hit you as long as you're a customer. Oh, you're not paying. You're not a customer anymore.
You're not a customer. Beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, he's like, according to Patty, the only free food they serve are knuckle sandwiches. The lieutenant then goes, I'm out. Sanji gives some food to the starving pirate, and Luffy thinks this is cool, invites Sanji to be part of the crew. Sanji's like, no. Sanji talks about how the head chef, Zeph, used to do the same thing, but for some famous pirate, and now Baratie is his treasure. And his rep is why the cooks who come are all tough and why the pirates come to eat there. It's like, I've got my own reasons for staying here. And then Luffy's like, no, I decline your refusal.
I love Luffy when he does this shit, man. He's like, no, you're joining me. Fuck you. He did it to Zoro, now he's doing it to Sanji.
Yeah, Krieg's pirate, Jin, is now like, hey man, don't go to the Grand Line. I don't know anything about it other than it's bad and scary, but don't go there.
It is scary, man. It's called the Grand Line. That's scary sounding. Spooky.
So now everyone's like, oh no, because we were mean to Krieg's pirate, his 50 pirate crew armada is going to come by and attack us. And, oh yeah, and then we find out the guy's name is Gin, and he leaves on a dinghy. And then we get the nice couple like gag scenes of free labor Choi boy Monkey D. Luffy. And he is so bad at his job. He is like negative
really
work
is.
done.
He really is. And my favorite thing is, because I want to bring light to it, the title card for Luffy in this. Did you say that he is on hiatus from piracy?
I did. I saw that his title name. I took note that his title name was Free Labor Chore Boy.
Yeah. The whole thing is on hiatus from piracy. Free labor chore boy Monkey D. Luffy.
I'm sorry. I forgot the full title.
Whenever I first read it, and now looking at it again, I'm just like, that's such a nice little like, he's on hiatus, right? Like he's like, I'm on hiatus for like a week.
But it is important though. He's not a pirate while he's working at the restaurant.
Yeah, he's a chore boy, not a pirate.
Yeah, so he has to be a waiter for the Straw Hats who are just like having fun eating, watching, taking joy in Luffy's suffering. And Sanji is infatuated with Nami. And at the end of the chapter, we get this whole cliffhanger of Gin offering to lead Krieg back to Baratie. Like how close was this dang armada?
Probably pretty close if it's enough for a dinghy, right?
Yeah. And I mean, based on what happens, I guess they like just broke off from the Grand Line to go into East Blue, which will eventually get the whole explanation of what East Blue is later on in this chapter, in this section, because we'd gotten the whole Red Line Grand Line explanation 2 episodes ago, I think, but this one will actually get the distinction between like East Blue and all that. So Sanji wants Sanji reveals that he wants Chef Steph's approval for his cooking, and he still finds time mid argument with the chef to flirt with Nami when Krieg's pirates show up. It's like, maybe Gin's here to say thanks. You know, hey, Krieg's ship looks kind of beat up. And Don Krieg is very hurt and hungry. He's begging for food and claiming to have money. And Sanji gives them food, but apparently Krieg has this habit of doing stuff like this where he fakes weakness, flies white flags or marine flags, and Trojan horses his way in. And then Krieg immediately punches Sanji, and then Gin, who's protesting how this isn't right for them to do this to them. So curse your sudden yet inevitable betrayal. And Krieg's like, nice restaurant, I'll take it. So Sanji goes to make the food, the 100 meals for Don's crew. You know, my job is to feed, not to judge. Meanwhile, the rest of the chefs are fighting Krieg. So Patty has this like meatball bazooka, but it fails to pierce Krieg's Woot's steel armor that has a bunch of guns inside, and he shoots a bunch of the chefs. All that's going on until the head chef calls out Krieg for being a scared little baby running from the Grand Line. It's like, you couldn't hack it in the Grand Line, that's why you're back here. And Krieg recognizes him as Red Shoes Zeph, a deadly kick-focused pirate who never uses hands in combat. He quit piracy when he lost a leg, but he can still cook with his 2 hands. And now Krieg has a new objective, the captain's log for when Zeph sailed the Grand Line. If only they had more information about the Grand Line, they could have made it. And Luffy takes offense to Krieg's ambition of getting the One Piece and becoming king of the pirates. So Zolo and Usopp are like, do we finally get to do something? And Luffy goes, oh, you guys are still here? No, I can handle this. We get the background that Krieg's armada was destroyed 7 days on the Grand Line. How do you think you're going to fare any better? And Krieg takes the 100 meals from Sanji back to his men. And he said, and whenever he returns, they better all surrender. So Sanji and Zeph are like, good, now that we've fed them, we won't feel guilty about killing them. There's this moment at the end of that chapter where Gin reveals that it was a man with piercing hawk eyes that destroyed the entire fleet after they entered the Grand Line, which of course sets Zolo off again. But again, we get to the start, like we end that whole chapter with like Zolo with 1,000-yard stare when and then the next chapter we completely gloss back over it again. And we have Chef Zeph going, that must have been Hawkeye, the hawk-eyed man. So now Zolo's like, oh, I guess I need to go to the Grand Line to find this guy. I have a new objective. Yeah. I don't think he's going to have to go that far, though.
My favorite is like Usopp and is like, who's that? And Luffy's just like, I don't know, beats me.
Yeah, it's like Zolo's got this like 1,000-yard stare off into the distance, like talking to himself. When they're all around him, like you say, like, what's he on about? I don't know. And it's like the second time this arc that it's happened. So Krieg's guys come back, and I guess it's a repeat of history because some big thing comes in and busts up Krieg's ship again. Nami, and on the Merry Go, Nami throws Johnny and Yosaku overboard and is gonna sail away with the ship and the treasure. this also saves it from the big disaster that came in and blew up Krieg's ship. So after Luffy and Zolo and Usopp realize what's happening, they try to use Johnny and Yosaku's dinghy to catch back up to the Merry-Go. But wait, the ship that just arrived at Baratie belongs to Hawkeye Mihawk, the master swordsman. So Zolo is like, nah, I got to do this. So everyone just kind of like waits on it, and he challenges Mihawk to a duel. He has to beat Mihawk to prove he's the greatest swordsman and fulfill his promise to his childhood friend Quina. Which we also have this cut of Nami turning the merry-go back around because she's beginning to regret betraying everyone, and she calls out to someone named Belmare or something. I'm sure we'll get an explanation of that later. But yeah, Mihawk is the East Blue gives the explanation of how each of the seas is ranked, and the East Blue is the weakest sea. So he's going to fight with just a tiny little knife, and the tiny little knife stops Zolo's Onigiri Demon Cut, which is, oh no, that's how unexpected. One of Zolo's strong attacks got beat by a tiny knife. So the action in this chapter was kind of interesting because we've got we have the swordplay, but it's interspersed with flashbacks to Zolo's past, like Kuina, like meeting Johnny and Yosaku and joining Luffy. And when Zolo tries to do the Tiger Hunt strike that he used in the last battle, Mihawk is faster than it. He stabs Zolo in the chest, but Zolo refuses to step backwards and retreat. And this strength of spirit impresses Mihawk enough to actually ask who this dude is. It's like, I'm Zolo. So Mihawk draws the black blade, finally respecting Zolo's strength, and Zolo unleashes his secret technique, 3,000 worlds, a technique that can only be done with 3 swords. But one of his swords breaks as Mihawk parries the strikes, and as Mihawk turns to strike Zolo,
I think both of his swords break.
Yeah, yeah.
2 out of his 3.
I have it written down as 1, but it could be 2.
Yeah, I'm looking at the panel now. There's 2.
There's 2?
The ones in
Okay.
his hands break, but his one that goes into the white sheath did not break. The one in his mouth hole.
Which that was Queen's sword, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was his earlier 2 swords break. Yeah. So, oh man, it wasn't the Kuino's strength. It was Zolo's strength. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing her name right. That's kind of the problem of not listening to anything anymore. Yeah,
It's fine.
As they had this whole go past each other and attack, and Mihawk parried it, so he's turning around to hit Zolo, and even though he has nothing to parry Mihawk's blade with, he still turns around to accept the hit. And Zolo says, "Wounds on the back are a swordsman's greatest shame," and Mihawk goes, "Magnificent." Slice.
God, Mihawk is so cool.
Like, he's like, oh, okay, you're a badass. Magnificent. I'm going to enjoy this even more. And then
it's so
slice.
good.
And then that's where it ends. That's where you had me end.
Yeah. The ending is like Zolo getting slashed and Luffy just screaming, Zoro!
So, yeah,
Or
and everyone,
Zolo in this case.
Yeah, everyone's looking on in abject horror. And
so good.
Zolo's been
Mihawk is
Zolo's
great.
been sliced.
I'm like, I don't know if like Mihawk's full name is a spoiler because they didn't give his first name.
They just called him, quote, Hawkeye Mihawk.
Yeah, like Hawkeye Mihawk. But like, oh, dude, no, his full name's not even a spoiler because it's not like, oh, hey, it's just thematically. So, and that's the last chapter for this reading, right? That
Yes,
was
it was
51?
42 to 51. That's the end of chapter 51. You could have ended it at chapter 50 with Nami regretting to betray everyone and not have the Mihawk fight. We could have started.
She's still
next
sailing
reading.
onward. She doesn't turn the ship around. So I want to correct you as you say like she turned.
Okay.
She's like turns the ship. She doesn't. She's just like, I hope we see each other again, and she's like crying, being like, I want to be free. Which, oh, that's such good foreshadowing because then we get to hear the name Belmarie.
Okay, that's how it's pronounced, Belmarie.
Yeah, Marie, Belmarie
Right.
or something like that.
There's
I'll
like an
have to listen to
accent
it,
on
but-
like the third E, so it's like I don't know how to pronounce
Yeah,
that stuff.
in Marie. Yeah, it's M accented E-R-E, and I don't know how to pronounce that without hearing it because it's been a minute since I've heard the name.
Oh, it must not be important then.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
So I want to highlight a few things.
With how many times you've rewatched One Piece?
I rewatch not enough. I mostly reread it because watching it's a pain in the ass.
Right, which is why usually before even Mihawk shows up, I think the last time I tried to watch One Piece, the furthest I got was right when Mihawk shows up. Because I remember him like showing up and having the knife, but I don't really remember much else of it.
His necklace. He's like, I'm gonna fight you. It's like, okay, let me get out my little toy knife from my necklace. Let's go, boy.
There's the implication too that he has other blades in between those sizes, between that and the black blade, but that this is the smallest one he has.
Yeah, it's like this is my smallest one I have on me. But like, so I want to highlight a few things. One, John Krieg's armor, his whole outfit.
Yeah, the Woots steel.
Yeah, like he has like 2 giant shields on his shoulder pads. Like, this dude is ridiculous.
Oh, it's some overdone power armor, and it's full of guns.
At least he doesn't have a metal jaw.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at this point in the One Piece world, people just having ridiculous amounts of metal on them, in a world that is mainly water, where you would expect everything to, like, rust on contact with air, from all the salt water, it's a bit ridiculous how much there is.
Yeah, especially like if they fall overboard. Man, that boy is sinking.
Yeah.
like
even Iron Body with his metal hand, with his metal pimp hand.
His metal like so to clarify like what that thing looks like, it's literally like strips of metal wrapped around his arm and then like drills into his knuckles, like bolts into his knuckles. Like, this thing doesn't even look nice. It looks like really like scrap metal-y.
Yeah.
Like,
it looks like scrap iron, which is why I'm like, wow, in like a week that thing is gonna rust to nothing.
Yeah. I hope the Marines get tetanus shots. Because oh boy.
With the amount of iron in them, they better.
But then Mihawk's outfit, though. Mihawk in general, I love his outfit. I love his whole design.
He actually has that whole like Spanish gentleman vibe going on. It's like as much as you've got Zoro, whatever. That's the guy that Mihawk looks like Zoro, like Mask of Zoro kind of. Except he's got like the whole like feather hat and everything.
Yeah. And because I want to share this with you, Matt, because it's not a spoiler. I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, his name reveals through mostly a Q&A at first. So Mihawk's like name is Dracula Mihawk. Let that sink in.
Dracula.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. It's not Dracula. It's Dracule. There's no A. It's an E. So it's Dracule Mihawk.
So are vampires real in One Piece?
I don't know if there's vampires in One Piece.
There's skeletons, so there must be vampires.
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't. That's how that works. I wouldn't put it past it.
Well, there's probably like a vampire fruit.
Yeah, there could be a vamp fruit.
Yeah, I mean, if not in the manga, it's got to have happened in the anime somewhere as a Halloween filler, right? Right? Probably. I wouldn't put it past it.
Yeah.
Someone can tweet at you with whatever filler episode or filler movie has the vampires.
I'd fucking watch it, man. Straight up.
Keep it away from me though. I don't want any spoilers like vampires.
Don't worry. I doubt it'd be very much a spoiler.
So to me, this is kind of the end of the fight. It's the Krieg problem is dealt with. We just need to get Zolo some first aid, and then all it takes is a little bit of some talk no jutsu, and Sanji's on the crew, right? Like, what more is there to do? But apparently, there's gonna be more fights.
Yeah, there's like a little under 20 chapters left.
I don't know how far does you're the expert here. You're the One Piece expert here. I'm along for the
Yeah,
ride.
Baratie goes up to 68, and we're at 51.
So we've got 17 more chapters here.
Yeah, like
That is there is a whole Syrup village between now and the end.
It's so good. And I'm going to stop it on another, not much of a cliffhanger, as much as just a nice stopping point. So your next assignment, Matt, is going to be chapters 52 to 60.
All right. 52 to 60, you're going to give me another cliffhanger.
Well, that's not exactly a cliffhanger.
So I guess to give more of a go into the whole review portion of this show still.
Yeah.
The fight, I guess the fact that it was one-sided, it was supposed to be one-sided, might play into it. Like I actually do find one-sided fights in shonens to be pretty fun and informative for kind of like establishing characters. So
yeah, we get a good bit of Zoro's character, right? He's like, I'm not going to turn my back. I'm not going to walk away from this fight or take a step back, even when he has a fucking little knife in his fucking heart.
Yeah, I think I've been finding that the moment-to-moment parts of fights, I'm not super in love with the way they're drawn or acted. Like they don't pull me as much, but then they often lead to singular moments though that are absolutely great. Like the end of the previous arc, in Syrup Village, the double hit with Usopp and Luffy, double hitting their guys. Some of the moments where you had like there's individual like 2 or 3 key moments in a fight that'll be great, but the fight is really those
Not
2
well
or 3
choreographed.
moments. Yeah, like the choreography to get from cool moment to cool moment is just kind of shown as just a flurry, and maybe that's just a limitation of this manga, but I don't feel that way about other shonens that I've read.
Yeah, I think early on with One Piece, the fights, choreography wise, like not the best, right? But the fights are never long. Like in terms of like how much punching or how much sword slashing it is, right? It's like maybe a few panels, and then we get kind of maybe a cool scene, maybe some talking, and then a little bit more. But I think it improves over time. I think once we get after Baratie, because after this is Arlong Park, which I'm super excited for.
Oh, that's the promised Arlong Park?
Yes, Arlong Park is next.
The promised, the fabled, the thing that I have told anyone that if they do spoil it for me, I am going to do terrible things. So I've been able to avoid that. I still don't know if Arlong Place is person, place, or thing.
You'll never know until you read it.
Yeah,
but I'm super excited for it because I think it has some of probably the best fights. Like early on, right? There's definitely better fights going on into the series, right? Where they get better, they look better. But I think Arlong Park will have some fights where you'll be like, yeah, this is a good improvement. Like I'm following it. It looks cool. Choreography is better.
The name makes me think it's some kind of safari park. That's what the name makes me think.
A safari park. I mean, we'll find out, right? Once we get to chapter 69.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's what it makes me think of, at least. Like that's the image I have in my head. We'll see how close that is.
Yeah. Anything you want to bring a highlight to? Because I have one, and it's one of the Q&As from one of the chapters.
Well, I want to finish up, I guess, the thought about the fights is that one thing, though, I have also noticed with them is that during those moments to moments, during the choreography part of it, where it's getting to the singular moment that they want to highlight, that it feels like the fights, they really think up 2 or 3 cool moments, and then it's just here's a bunch of filler panels to get there. There's always some small corner panel with either peanut gallery talking or parts of the Mihawk fight Zolo's flashbacks. That's been a consistent style thing I've noticed.
Yeah, it's very stylistic.
So what's the part about the Q&As do you think both myself and our listeners embarking on this journey of One Piece need to pay attention to?
So it's about the Django, the hypnotist.
Oh, is it the mushroom thing?
Yeah, yes, it's the mushroom thing.
Yeah, his beard is actually a mustache. His beard is actually a mushroom.
Yeah, his goatee's really a mushroom. And the fact that he can hypnotize people is because he ate a mushroom that was gross. And so after that, he was just able to hypnotize people. And so now it's got me thinking, is the Django a devil fruit user?
Well, did we ever see him swim?
No, like not that I'm aware of. We never saw him swim in the arc. So like, is the Django a devil fruit user? That has not been confirmed. Not that I'm aware of.
But it hasn't been denied.
Neither has it been denied. But that's now I'm like wondering if Django is a devil fruit user. I doubt he is, right? Like devil fruit users are always highlighted. They could have just been a really trippy mushroom that opened his eyes.
Outside Buggy, we haven't seen another devil fruit user so far, which that's been a bit surprising to me, is that they haven't pulled that trigger yet of having basically every threatening enemy be a devil fruit user yet. It's still all just regular people.
Yeah, they're just really strong. Which is what I like about One Piece, right? Once we get to the Grand Line, there's a little bit more devil fruit users, right? Just a few. But that's because like it's the Grand Line's full of super strong, powerful people. You know, people like Mihawk, right? You gotta have some way to fight strong ass people like Mihawk. No one fights Mihawk. Mihawk will kill you. He took down a whole ship with a sword,
with a single sword
his
stroke.
Little dinghy. He is sailing. Think about it, Matt. He is sailing on that little tiny boat that just has it's literally just a chair. It's a chair on a little dinghy.
He just intimidates the ocean to move him.
Yeah, he's like, ocean, move me, or I will slash you.
We'll cut the water molecules.
We will cut the water. Oh man. I'm so excited about Mihawk. I'm so glad I picked that chapter to end off of, so you could just be like, "Oh, will Zoro live?" Or what?
I mean, he's gonna live, and I'm sure Mihawk isn't gonna die there either, because it's pretty clear he's meant to be a recurring character.
Yeah, we won't see him for years.
Oh, okay.
Never see him again.
And he never showed up again.
Never appears again.
So it's obvious that, but yeah. So now I know that there's other fights to look forward to. I am now that I've got this, that it's definitely a pattern the way that they're doing these fights. I'm gonna be curious and trying to watch out for that on the next few fights to see if it is just still flurries of blows with really the commentary coming from a peanut gallery, and then cool moment. If that pattern continues, or if the actual like choreography, moment to moment flow of the fight keeps up.
Yeah, and that's something for you to keep an eye out and see if that happens. I think it does. I think the choreography of fights gets better over time. Really hitting a good peak in a further arc. I'm not going to name it.
Not the fabled Arlong Park.
No, Arlong Park definitely improves, right? We get to see some cool fights, but Arlong Park, you'll see when you get to Arlong Park how the fights work with the story it's telling for that arc. It's very good. I think you'll really much like Arlong Park, and if it doesn't make you cry, Matt, you're a monster.
All right.
It makes me cry every time. And when we get to once we get to it and get to the particular chapter, I will probably be choking up in the episode we record. I'll probably be like trying to hold back tears because it legitimately like hits me every time.
All right. Well, hopefully you've got the assignments already worked out then for that one.
Oh, I do. I've planned it already.
All right, I'm excited. We've gotten less
one chapter at a time.
Every episode a single chapter.
One
that would take us forever.
At a time.
We would never catch up to One Piece at that rate.
I mean, we will in like 900 something years. It's fine.
Maybe.
No. I got it planned.
All right. Well, I guess so then the next episode will be chapters 52 to 60. The next part of the Baratie arc. We'll see what is this fight that Luffy gets in? Who knows? I don't.
Who knows? We'll even be in those 9 chapters. We'll find out.
That's true. I'm going to spend this entire assignment waiting for Luffy to get into a fight, and it's not going to happen. That's how it's going to go.
Sandwich is lying to you. There is no Luffy fight.
There is no Luffy fight. That's going to be the real thing. Is people start feeding. I'm sure. This is why I can't have social media. People will start feeding me fake spoilers, and I'm going to spend the whole time like trying to find like the hidden panel background thing, or waiting for some moment to happen that never happens. Like, just wait for the Zolo versus Nami fight.
Dude, just wait for like the Luffy and Usopp fight.
Isn't there actually a Luffy and Usopp fight?
Nah. Why the fuck would they fight their teammates? That sounds stupid.
I feel like I've heard about a Luffy Usopp fight. Like, in the back of my mind, that sounds like there's a thing with that.
It's probably like one of like the movies or something, like one of the non-canon movies.
Okay. You can pedal backwards on your bike. Okay.
Yeah, I'll pedal backwards all I want. I mean, is there a fight? We'll find out.
Is that the Arlong Park fight that makes? Did you unintentionally spoil the Arlong Park thing?
No. I have. The only thing I was spoiled about Arlong Park is how awesome it is.
Okay.
I have not mentioned any details that go on in that arc.
All right. Well, on that suspicious note, I think it's time for us to set sail again. I finally get to continue reading.
I mean, you can go set sail with Nami. I'm going to like stay and watch like, Don Kree and whatever happens there. I'm going to eat some food. I'm going to have Sanji whip me up something.
Yeah, dream it. Don't give up.
Thank you all for setting sail with us into the world of One Piece. If you like to keep up to date on releases and what the current chapter assignments are, be sure to follow us on Twitter at SailingAllBlue. And we'd like to give special thanks to my good friend Birdie for composing our wonderful, amazing intro. To check out more of Birdie's amazing music, be sure to follow them on Twitter at HeyIt'sBirdie and check out their works on Spotify. I'm a big fan of the album VIMP. Links to